When we think about rivalries in Southeast Asia, our minds often jump to powerful nations flexing their muscles or long standing conflicts etched in history. But there is one rivalry that is quieter, more subtle, and yet deeply rooted in shared history, economics, politics, and even pride. Singapore and Malaysia, two countries, one past and a future that often pulls them in very different directions. To understand the rivalry, we have to go back to the 1960s. Did you know that Singapore and Malaysia were once part of the same country? In 1963, Singapore joined the newly formed Federation of Malaysia, along with Sabah and Sarawak. The goal was unity. Shared language, trade, and culture seemed like a strong foundation. But cracks appeared almost immediately. Singapore's government, led by Lee Kuan Yew, believed in a multiracial society with meritocracy at its core. Malaysia's ruling coalition, on the other hand, promoted a policy called Keturunan Melayu, or Malay supremacy, and please excuse my lack of Malay pronunciation, prioritizing the rights of the Malay majority. This clash of ideology sparked tensions. Race riots broke out in 1964. Accusations flew, trust vanished. And in 1965, Malaysia made a shocking decision. They expelled Singapore. Singapore did not leave by choice, it was kicked out. Can you imagine a country being forced into independence? At the time of separation, Singapore was small, poor, and vulnerable. It had no natural resources, no clean water of its own, no military to speak of. Many predicted it wouldn't survive, but something remarkable happened. Lee Kuan Yew and his team turned this tiny island into a global economic powerhouse. They invested in education, trade, and infrastructure. Today, Singapore is known for its efficiency, cleanliness, and world-class institutions. Meanwhile, Malaysia, rich in resources, land, and manpower, struggled with internal politics, corruption, and racial tensions. So even though Malaysia was seen as the big brother after the split, Singapore gradually outpaced it in many areas. Did that create resentment? Some say yes. Others say it's just friendly competition. But the tension is real. Singapore and Malaysia are deeply connected economically. Malaysia supplies Singapore with essential resources like fresh water and food. In return, Singapore is a hub for Malaysian exports, tourists, and investment. But the relationship has not always been smooth. Over the years, they've clashed over water prices. Malaysia feels it's underpaid. Singapore insists it's following agreements. Airspace and maritime borders, even small shifts in boundaries, can spark arguments and even tensions. And yet, they always seem to find a way back to the negotiating table. Why? Because, like it or not, they need each other. Here's another angle of the competition and tension: talent. Singapore universities often rank among the best in Asia. Its education system is tough but produces results. As a result, many of Malaysia's brightest students and professionals move to Singapore for better opportunities. It's a trend that's quietly drained Malaysia of talent for decades. In response, Malaysia has tried to keep its talent home, offering scholarships, programs, and incentives. But the reality remains Singapore's pull is strong. Let's look at how the world sees both of them. Singapore is a global financial center. It's a key player in tech, shipping, and diplomacy. It ranks high in stability, safety, ease of doing business. Malaysia, on the other hand, is often seen as a regional power with potential, but is also viewed as a politically unstable, with frequent changes in leadership. Does that mean Singapore is winning? Not necessarily. Malaysia has its own strengths: cultural diversity, natural beauty, a growing middle class, and a larger economy by size. But perception matters, and internationally, Singapore tends to stand out more. Despite all the cooperation, there are moments when the tension slips into view. A Malaysian leader might criticize Singapore for being too westernized. A Singaporean politician might hint at corruption across the border. Friendly sports matches become battles of national pride. Internet comments from both sides, often not very kind. It's not open hostility, it's not war, but it's not warm friendship either. It's somewhere in between, a cold rivalry wrapped in diplomatic smiles. So, what does the future hold for Singapore and Malaysia? There is potential for unity in trade, tourism, and technology. A high speed rail project linking both countries was proposed, then cancelled, then revived again. If it's ever finished, it could bring them closer. But deeper issues remain, different political ideologies, different visions of progress, and perhaps a lingering sense of unfinished business from their shared past. Will they learn to truly trust one another? Or will the rivalry continue, unspoken but always present? Only time will tell.